Alright folks, it's time to get into a lineup that I have a lot of high hopes for moving into this season of Premier, a lineup that has some of my favorite people in the NA scene on it, and a lineup that sort of reignites that X-Chaos roster going as the right opportunity in this season of Premier. Jonji and MCE, who's still going to be coaching, are reforming their lineup with the additions of, oh, you can see my freaking Steve there. Green shirt for the win, y'all. I probably should have thought that through. Anyways, this lineup, going by the right opportunity now on the ESCA page, team page, going to consist of Jonji, Peter, Swisher, Spongey, and Alter. Of course, MCE coaching Jonji, remnant of that Chaos squad. Here in this article by Dust2.us, goes into a lot of the details here. I believe there is some, no, there's no interviews, but still a lot of information on these teams and players. Dust2.us, a great resource for NACS, moves going into even some advanced teams. So I cannot recommend Dust2.us enough. Go over, make an account, be active on the site. They post articles, a lot of articles per day, and these guys, they do it all for the love of the game and for the scene. So give them a look, give them a shout. Also shout out to M&M's who wrote this article. I'll drop a link down to his Twitter in the description below. Great guy, drops a lot of cool knowledge bombs on Twitter as well. Let's look into this lineup though. Let's start with Spongey, former Triumph player. These are all of his stats on HLTV. He has not actually played a game since the 8th. Or not the 8th, the 23rd of August for Triumph when they played a best of 3 against Cloud9. Lost that best of 3. Did take a map off of Cloud9 though, that's pretty good. Spongey though, you look over this number, it doesn't look the best. But Spongey is one of the best role players I have seen in North America. He will take the beating that people don't want to take. He will take the hit so his teammates can make a play. He's a fantastic support player. He's a fantastic role player. He is one of those players that will elevate a team to another level because of the role that he plays and the roles that he's willing to take. So Spongey, this is a guy that is severely underrated, criminally underrated in the North American scene. And I'm glad to see him back on a team since he got removed from Triumph. It's good to see him back here, and I think he's going to fit in really well with this team, especially with MCE as the coach. He'll be able to utilize Spongey really well, and Spongey can thrive on this roster. We move forward, though. Peter. Dirty Pete. Pete has not played a match since January. And I believe... Oh, wait, though, this is a sub-in matchup. He had not played since... What is that, May? January, February, March, April, May. Yeah, May. He'd not played a best of 3 since May, aside from this stand-in performance with Mythic. This was a best of 3 against Envy, where the Bad News Bears did lose that series. Got it a little close, though, pretty close. In fact, a team that really was a favorite of mine, too, had Jonji on that roster as well. Unfortunately, the team did break up, but this was a team, another one of my favorite teams in the North American scene. To see Pete back, it's going to be huge. He was on Riot Squad too, which we have to scroll little ways away back down here to find Riot Squad. Go all the way back towards the Februaries of the year. They played as the Bad News Bears for quite some time. Very long streak of time. Fun plus Phoenix for a Flashpoint event. A lot of discrepancies with the FPX organization and them, but I'm not going to get into that here. Pete, though, great opper, veteran player, and he'll definitely be one of the leaders on this roster. I wouldn't be surprised to see that Pete was IGLing the squad, too. He has a lot of knowledge to share with his team, and he has some good young players around him, too. Like Spongey, he's not all that old at all, 21 years of age. Jonji, one of the next teammates, 21 years of age as well. Jonji, formerly of Chaos, was also on the Bad News Bears and Riot Squad. Went to Chaos after that. Did quite well, considerably good placings with the Chaos roster. And when that team dissolved, unfortunately, Jonji was stuck in a bit of limbo, but he seems he's found a team and a home right now. We'll see how well this team actually continues to go together. And, well, their team name on ESCA, again, is the right opportunity. This is the right opportunity for an org to get into the North American scene with a very capable lineup that's probably going to be asking for peanuts compared to what they're actually worth. So if you are an org watching this video, you don't have a team in CSGO, give these guys a look. This is a team with a lot of potential, guys with massive amounts of experience. Spongey, Triumph, Peter's played for even like orgs like Dignitas, Jonji on Chaos. Then you have Swisher's the next guy I'm going to take a peek at in a second, played for Alter is a bit of a young gun. We'll look at Alter a little bit later too. Doesn't have the org experience necessarily under him, the likes of Peter, Jonji, or Spongey, even Swish, but still. Jonji, Pete, Spongey, already 3 solid North American players. And John, he's a really good entry. This guy, you just send him loose, and he'll just go open up a bomb site for you. Get guys like Spongey and let's get Swisher out around him, and this team is going to be perfect. I mean, this has all the parts to be a very solid roster. You have the very solid support players like Spongey. Swisher can play literally any role. He's done it consistently. John can play pretty much any role as well, but he is not opposed to being that high fragging entry. And he does really well when he's allowed to play very explosively and very loose. Peter, veteran Omper, veteran IGL, probably going to take those reins, I'm assuming. Maybe we can get confirmation from those guys later on what roles will be actually going to the players. But Pete can IGL, he's a solid op, he's a veteran presence. MCE, a great coach to really utilize his players. There's a good interview with MCE on HLTV too, where he talks about how he's been able to get a lot out of teams, more than people thought. And definitely, yeah, Matt's a great coach. So to see what he's going to be able to do with this team is definitely going to be very, very fun. But yeah, Swisher has played pretty much any role for every team he's played on. He can play any role to a very solid effect. He can play pretty much any position. And I think he's one of the other criminally underrated players in the North American scene. And to see him get a roster like this around him is going to be good for him as a player and good for the players around him. He's a very smart player, incredibly smart player. And overall, this team is filled with very smart players with a lot of drive for this game, a lot of drive to achieve greatness in the game of Counter-Strike Global Offensive. So already, just this core 4 is looking spicy. And let's look at the last member of the team, Alter. This is a guy who's 21 years old. He's been in Premier since Season 25. We're going on to Season 36. He had a bit of a break in between there. But this is a guy who's been in Premier for a lot of ESEA seasons. Last game played was in this IEM Beijing qualifier with Secret Club, lost to Rugrats. He also played for Rugrats in an ESEA Cash Cup against Triumph. And then here's the Season 34. The last time he actually played in MDL/Premier was Season 34, so he took last season off. And now we're seeing here just what he did. He was on Secret Club, did some solid performances here. Or wait, no, he was on Buff Daddy's PayPal team, my bad. He did good considering the rest of his team. Alter. Top fragging here against the solid Secret Club roster, 23-16. So Alter, he's a very solid young player. He's a very solid fragging player. And I'm expecting him to be utilized as one of those high firepower players in this roster. We'll see what actually comes about here. But overall, you have the experience of players like Peter and John and Spongey. Even though John and Spongey are still young, both these guys have been around the block considering that they're only 21 years of age. Alter as well is a bit more of a young gun. Doesn't have the chaoses or the triumphs under his record or the digs in the case of Peter, but he's still a very solid player. And Swish played for Yamos recently, extremely smart, extremely capable, and extremely selfless player. So overall, I could not be more excited for this roster. I could not be more excited for these guys to come together as a team. And led by MCE, this is going to be a fantastic showing from these guys. And let's just watch what these guys are capable of, because it's going to be fantastic. If orgs are smart, they will be picked up within the first week of the season. Will orgs be smart? I don't know. They weren't with the Chaos roster. But with teams like High Coast, like Extra Salt coming in, things are looking a lot better. Teams are starting to realize that North America has a lot of talent and a lot of uncapped potential. With the investment that ESEA and ESL are putting into the region as well, it's going to make things a lot better for teams in this region to be able to make some cash with the cash cups, the 4 seasons per year, direct promotion every single season. So 4 promotions per year. Well, folks, let's see what the right opportunity can do. I think it's the right opportunity for a lot of these players to make it back into Pro League for some of them, and to make it into Pro League for the first time, and to really make their name and make their stake in the Counter-Strike scene as a global entity, not just in North America. Well, folks, if you have enjoyed this video, please do leave a like on it. Please do subscribe if you are new as well for more Counter-Strike content. We're getting into the nitty-gritty as the season is about to begin next week as well for Premier. Advanced starts this coming week as of tomorrow. I believe advanced games are starting. So we'll get a lot of Counter-Strike news here. NA, EU, globally. We'll continue to throw it out there as it comes. And I have been Boggs, signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.